John in Texas. You are live.
Hello.
Hi. Oh,
Hello, Eric.
hello. I'm sorry. I had to turn the volume way up for the last caller, so you blasted my eardrums out. Can you say something again?
Oh, I'm very sorry about that. I was just saying hello.
Hello. Okay, I've got it adjusted. No, it's not your fault. No worries. So let me just change the name here and get you going. In the meantime, John, what did you want to talk about?
So I called a few weeks ago and spoke to you and Drew, and I just really wanted to thank you for the advice that you've given me because it really has worked. Even though it was a struggle at first, you
Yeah.
gave me advice on setting boundaries with my theist family. And at
Hey.
first, it did not go as I was planning. Like they were just really, really angry. They were mad. In fact, they didn't want to see me for a few weeks, and I didn't even get to see my kids for about 2 weeks. But then they reached
Oh.
out to me. They're like, you know what? We really do miss you, and we understand that you don't believe, and we still think that you're going to go to hell and stuff like that. But they just kind of reached out and were like, well, but we still love you, kind of a thing.
That's a start.
So I think that that's going to kind of help out. And even my 5-year-old son was asking, well, where's my daddy? Where is he? Why can't I see him? And I think that's really what helped is that he really wants to see me. And even though they are afraid that I'm going to turn my son into an atheist, I think they're just kind of starting to accept the fact that, you know what, this is our son and we need to be in his life. And even though the mother of my kids is like, you need to be in your kid's life, and I 100% agree. So I'm really happy about that advice that you gave me because I was really
Yay.
dreading having to give them that talk about boundaries.
Oh, and you're going to find that you're not going to need to tiptoe as much as you did before. And it's really, really wonderful. I will tell you, because you'll probably find yourself in this situation. I remember when I first started setting those boundaries, I had a scenario where I was with those people for a holiday and they all got together around the table and they all joined hands and then they looked at me so awkwardly. It was so uncomfortable. And then,
Oh yeah.
and there was this,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. And there was this feeling from them of like, are we allowed to pray in front of you? And I remember I took that as an opportunity to show grace. And I said to them, please don't let me interrupt you doing your faith traditions. Like faith traditions I understand are really important to you. Please go ahead. I'll be right here. And doing that prevented them from trying to browbeat me into joining them. And it also made them feel comfortable doing what they were doing and recognizing that I was, just right out there, rooting them on. They could do whatever they want to do, and that was fine. And it really helped. So if you do find yourself in that position, advice from me, that's what worked for me.
Well,
But
thank you. It's kind of working for me now. Yeah, I
God,
mean, it does kind of feel weird to, be at the dinner table with them. Like yesterday, I went and spent some time with them, spent the whole day, spent some time in the pool. But my dad grilled some burgers and hot dogs. And
yeah.
yeah, it kind of felt weird to be holding their hands during a prayer. But I was just glad to be able to spend some time with my family. They can just see me as a son, even though that they think that I'm going to be going to hell. And they're still trying to give me those little sermons, but I'm just like, we're not. I don't want to talk about this right now. We'll talk about this later. And later is basically going to turn into never. But they are
Well,
starting to respect the fact that I really don't want to talk about it.
yeah. And if they do really want to talk about it, they need to be open to listening to you and hearing what you have to say. That talking to you is not evangelizing to you. And if they want to evangelize to you, that's inappropriate. But if they want to talk to you, that conversation goes both ways.
Right. But I do feel like that they're trying to raise my son though, and I do have an issue with that. And in fact, yesterday my son even asked my dad, who is a preacher by the way, is God real? And I was really proud of my son for asking that question because he's only 5 years old.
Wow.
But
Jeez.
my dad started going into like this whole speech of, oh yes, God is real, and you can see Him in every little thing. And he's like, well, why can't I see Him? Well, because he's invisible, but he's there. And I'm just thinking, son, whenever you grow up, I'm going to tell you all about evolution. I'm going to tell you all about skepticism, and I want you to become. I basically want you to be a skeptic. I want you to be a successful person, but I want you to be happy,
Yeah.
kind of a
Well,
thing. Like I don't want him to be indoctrinated like I was, even though that I think my parents are trying to have more influence over him than I would like. But that's something for another day.
I think a good goal would be hoping that your child has good reasons for believing the things that they believe.
Right. Well, and
Personally,
also another thing is that my wife or my ex-wife basically is also a Christian, so that's another issue.
yeah.
But she's starting to accept the fact that I don't believe. At first, whenever I came out to her that I wasn't a believer, she started threatening, "Well, I won't let you see the kids if you don't believe," as if like that threat would make me start believing in God again.
Right? Yeah, no, that's a funny one. Um, but I keep with it. And also, um, when it comes to evangelizing to your kid, as they understand you more, talk to them and say, hey, you know, what you're doing by preaching to my kid. Just think about if I were to pull them aside every time, even in front of you, and tell them, that I that God belief is silly and not true, how that would make you feel.
Right. I didn't talk to my son about it just simply because I don't want to cause any problems.
Right.
But and also he's 5, so he's not at the age of reason yet.
No.
But
I'm thinking about your father.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
right,
That there is an impact to what he's doing, and that impact. Right. I will give an example that's kind of close to home, but I feel like it's okay. Is when I was actually, it might be a little too close to home. I'll put it this way: you talking about being an atheist may make them uncomfortable, and them talking about their Christianity might make you feel uncomfortable. But I feel like the best thing is to recognize that it's uncomfortable, for everyone to recognize that, and for everyone to help share carrying the weight of that. That way you don't have to be the only one carrying all that weight. That if it's going to be uncomfortable, that they can be uncomfortable a little bit too. It's not just on you.
right. Because I mean we have different points of view, and so they conflict with each other.
Yeah.
So obviously there is a little bit of discomfort. But you know what really does grind my gear as an atheist, though?
What's up?
Whenever a theist tells me that since I don't have anything to base my morals off of, that I am a horrible person, that I have no morals, and that I approve of horrible things. Like yesterday, I was talking to some person yesterday, was like, he kept telling me, well, if you don't believe in God or if you don't believe in anything, you can't base your morals off of anything. So you're okay with child trafficking. I'm like, no, I am not okay with that. In fact, as an atheist, my morality comes from empathy and from common sense.
Yeah.
So my rule is that which I wouldn't want done to me, I don't do to others.
So,
And just as I wouldn't want my own children to be trafficked, I don't want other people's children to be trafficked because it's a horrible thing.
right. So, John, you're not going to believe this, but this is actually the full topic of what the next caller is calling in about. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, no, this is a perfect segue. So I'm gonna take advantage of it. John, thank you for calling in, and I hope you stay tuned, because this next conversation that I'm gonna have has everything to do with what
All
you
right,
just said.
yes. All right, that's fine. I don't want to steal the next guy's thunder since that's his topic and I called him with a different topic. But thank you for taking my call. Oh, and by the way,
What's up?
thank you for forgiving me about that producer comment. I didn't realize that you were the only producer, and that was me who made that comment. But thanks for
Oh, that there's no offense. Honestly, I think the best thing I can do is be proud of it, because I think I'm
I agree.
kicking butt, but there's no offense taken. You're super good. No worries. If anything, it gave me the opportunity to bring that up and let people know, because yeah, like right now I'm talking to you, I'm having this conversation, and I'm also checking the live chat. the chat from my moderators. We have got a private chat so that they can send me messages, checking the audio levels and the connection to YouTube. So like it's always this constant, juggling act. But doing my best.
All right. Well, keep kicking ass out there, man. You're doing a great job.
Appreciate you, John. Thank you for tuning in.
All right. Bye-bye.
What a sweetheart.